Okay, I have so much to talk about. I don't even know where to start. Um, I've been wanting to get pregnant now for some time, and my doctor told me I had to wait because I found out that I have something called Graves disease. And Graves disease is another hormonal problem which I have in addition to having polycystic ovaries. Um, and yesterday was my first appointment with the doctor after I was being cleared, saying that I can go ahead and try to get pregnant. And I'm just right now super excited because I have the green light in every which way. My endocrinologist that manages my Graves disease has me on really low doses of methimazole, so I'm really glad that my Graves disease is under control with that. And I also take, in addition to the methimazole, I take 10 milligrams twice a day. I also take propanolol 20 milligrams twice a day. Um, and I've already started my prenatal vitamins. I went to go see my infertility endocrinologist, and she ran some tests. She just did some X-rays, and she wanted to make sure, not X-rays, ultrasounds, and she wanted to, just look at my ovaries, check a lot of my uterus. I was actually surprised. June 5th, I actually got a period on my own, so I was really shocked. So I tried that month, and well, I didn't get anything, but I'm okay. No positive pregnancy tests, but I'm okay with it because I went to her and I know she's going to assist me. I didn't know whether or not I did or did not ovulate because I couldn't find my ovulation strips. But in any of this, anyway, yesterday when I went, and I'm just reading off of my slip, what did she do? She did the initial transvaginal ultrasound. She also wanted to do an endometrial biopsy to make sure I didn't have something called, I think she said hyperplasia or something like that in my lining to make sure it wasn't, I guess, overactive or too thick or too thin. And she also checking for a bacteria called uremoplasma, which she said can hinder sometimes. It can hinder pregnancy and make you go through miscarriage. So she wants to make sure I don't have anything wrong with the lining of my uterus before she decides to go ahead and make me ovulate. And the other thing she did was she just did some blood work just that she checked to see what my hormone levels were. In addition to that, she's going to clear her call back in 1 week for my results. And then she's going to start me on, I believe it's, let me read my prescription just so I get a dose right. She's going to have me do 10 milligrams for 12 days. I'm sorry, 10 milligrams once a day for 12 days of Provera so I can get my period. And then, of course, I have to call the first day of my period so she can document it to know when to start me on the Clomid. Now, I have done one cycle of Clomid maybe 2 years ago, and that was 50 milligrams, I think, for 5 days, and I had no problem with ovulating, but I did not achieve a pregnancy. I think that was just due to poor planning and sex. I'm not too sure. But in any event, I'm like super excited. My boyfriend is going to go get his semen analysis sometimes next week because, like I said, I do have some time in between I get my first period. She just wants to make sure there's nothing, wrong with him because we've never done that part on him. And also, she wants to recheck me again and do an iron study because she said I'm slightly anemic, so she wants to make sure that he's not anemic. But we're going to do another iron study on me just to be sure that the results are right. I may have just been having a bad day. Who knows? But that's it. She marked it down that I have come see her in 1 week and do a semen analysis, and then pretty much we're going to get going. So I'm extremely excited. I'm going to document every step through the process of me trying to get pregnant. And for anyone that has Graves' disease or polycystic ovaries, there's a lot of, one, it's hard to get pregnant. It's not impossible, but it is harder to get pregnant when you have polycystic ovaries if you don't respond to the medication. But with Graves' disease, there's a lot of added risk that are involved. She told me I am considered now a high-risk pregnancy. I did suffer from having, they called it, when I went, it was hypokalemia, which is a drastic drop in my potassium levels, and they also said I was going through, oh goodness, the only thing that comes to mind is toxic shock syndrome, but that's not it. What is it called? Oh, thyroid storm. And that's pretty much when all of my symptoms just, elevate really fast. I produce too much of thyroid hormone. So hopefully I don't go through one of those, and everything will be fine, and that I have a healthy, normal pregnancy because I seem to be really well controlled. But one thing that I have Graves' disease is that now I have to see my endocrinologist that manages my Graves' disease pretty much once a month until he sees how everything's progressing through the first trimester, second trimester. He said, most likely it'll be every 6 weeks that I would have to come see him and not every month. So hopefully everything will go as planned and I won't have to visit him as often and they won't need to change my medication and nothing goes wrong. But this is the first step with the doctor. She's going to assist me. So wish me luck and I will keep you guys updated every step of the way of what goes on with me being so I have 2 separate factors that contribute to why I have infertility. Alright, so I'll talk with you guys later.